Today's topic, Chibi reviews and a potential fraud regarding some sort of crowd-funded campaign. If you guys don't know, remember, like a couple of years ago, or actually back in October 2024, right? Chibi got doxxed, right? He got doxxed and he was getting death threats. People were logging into his DeviantArt account and literally posting CP. Isn't that crazy? Like, people are calling him a pedophile based on his alignment with lolly content in anime, but real people then can't differentiate fiction from reality and want to portray him as a pedophile no matter what. Got onto his DeviantArt, posted actual CP, and all that happened. Chibi at that point, I think, said enough is enough, and he was going to press legal charges. A lot of those people, I think, are from the Boruto fandom too. For some reason, Chibi versus Boruto fandom, I don't know. I think he's getting rage baited, and he's been feeding into the trolls too much, and a lot of the controversy, rage baiting, engagement farming has caught up, and it created this scenario. I want to find out for myself what actually happened, because with stuff like this, especially with content creators that has so much baggage, right? Such as Tectone, such as Nicholas Light, such as Chibi Reviews. It's also kind of funny that, you know, they're all just tight little group of friends like this. It's also hilarious that of all people, Nicholas Light is the one that's being a good boy and minding his own business, spreading positivity and doing his own thing, rather than him being in the hot seat. So again, I want to dissociate any like baggage or drama with these creators. I want to find out the objective truth of what the fuck is actually going on, hear from both sides, and come with my own conclusion. Yeah, right now also, I think that a lot of this is popping up because of the Misgift stuff, right? This is what happens when you're trying to defend your friend Tectone regarding all this lawsuit shit, and obviously Misgift wants to just drag down everybody together, right? So let's read some of the tweets that is anti-Chibi and read some of the posts from actually Chibi himself, because he has come up with a formal statement. Chibi Reviews has quietly unpublished his crowdfunding campaign for a lawsuit, which is yet to be filed after 10 months. He raised over $17,000. These are some just screenshots, you know, of just, I guess, the subreddit that was posted there. YouTube drama. This is the actual crowdfunding campaign. Goal is 25,000, reached almost 17K. And the campaign is unpublished, right? So I guess the optics here is the fact that Chibi unpublishing this campaign quietly without doing it publicly is insinuating that he's hoping that everyone forgot about it, right? That like, okay, the lawsuit's still going, I'm gonna just mute this and take the money and run off. That's the worst case scenario, right? The most unfaith, like the most bad faith like assumption you can make about Chibi is he quietly unpublished it and ran away with the money, and that's what a lot of people are trying to spin this story as. Let's read some of the replies. I'm sure they won't be biased at all. He has allegedly been blocking on anyone who mentions it. Well, yeah, obviously, because like you guys are trying to slander his name in the worst way possible rather than find out the objective truth, right? Like, come on, you can't say like you are this like non-biased like third party trying to objectively cover it. I think a lot of people are trying to drag his name. Whoever donated money to that obvious scam deserves to have their money taken. Fucking Rubes Lamau. That's pretty fucking mean, bro. It was his fan base that did it. A lot of them are bigoted assholes. They're the type to make a white woman a millionaire for calling them. And you know why the comments are so insane like this? It's because this is what happens when you get captured by woke identity culture bullshit online, right? A lot of the times, Chibi is constantly engaging in fight against censorship, fight against, you know, identity culture, and fight against all that political bullshit, which again, I'm sure he has good intent, but when you feed the trolls and you keep aggravating, it's gonna come back at you, and you're gonna create this opposition that is gonna be even nastier. Easy $17,000 collected. Dumbasses deserve to lose their money for giving it to someone they don't know. Hopefully people learn their lessons and avoid this guy. Hell, I preach that everyone mute him so they don't help us algorithms and get paid for being a Twitter Andy. I think Chibi does extremely well on Twitter. Bro is a professional tweeter. He's there farming the impressions and engagement, and honestly, with what his statement, I peeked a little bit at his statement, and I'm starting to realize why he's chronically posting on Twitter so much. It's because lawyer fees are very expensive, right? More just stuff like this. Chibi has a little sister. I don't know the context behind it. I know that Chibi is a big fan of incest in anime. But the more that he kind of like parades around that kind of stuff, the more other schizos will try to spin the story in a different way. Scamming the Chibi Reviews fan base is now officially the Boruto's fans' greatest achievement, blah, blah, blah. He got one as one. And so, again, nothing here really tells me anything of the actual context happening. It's just people being nasty because they want to hate on this guy, right? If you laugh, you go to hell. Chibi Reviews, this is again just like the announcements happening. I would have never called this dude a PDF if I knew he was finna lead to him upping 17 racks on me. Wow, Chibi. It just Chibi blocked me, haha. Motherfucker deadass made up a lie about CP and bunch of retards believed it because they hate Boruto. So this is the other assumption that people are jumping into. So the idea here is basically all of the people doxing him, all the people posting CP on his accounts are fake. They are fake. He made it up. Maybe it's his alt accounts. I don't know. And basically, he has created these enemies for him to take action upon, launched this crowdfunding campaign, and ran away with the money, right? So this is the other like bad faith narrative that people are spinning up. Again, I have no clue. Will Chibi Reviews address the scamming allegations? He actually did. It's suspicious that he quietly took down his lawsuit campaign after raising 70K and not saying anything. I made 4 tweets about this situation and how this would happen, and each time his lolly army tried to blitz me, and my mutuals like this wasn't the most obvious outcome. Truly, I'm glad people who funded the money just got scammed like the vessels that they are. Yukina does not like Chibi at all, and Chibi is a controversial figure. Absolutely, he is a controversial figure that people will just be nasty to because, again, the baggage associated with it. And that's what happens, right? That's what happens when, like, again, you engage in these negative engagement stuff. If a double-edged sword, and yeah, you're going to be creating your loyal farm, like your community, but like fans, but there's going to be antis against you that rise just as much. And there's, again, a reason why a lot of these controversial content creators then band together out of trauma, because they've been so-called disgraced and outcasted from whatever majority group, right, that exists, and then they kind of just scratch each other's back. Now, I want to see what Chibi actually said. Thank you, Tease, for the 5 months of support. Appreciate that. Let's see what Chibi actually said. Important. Breaking my silence and just saying it like it is. Have a new wave of harassment from my doxers and people that side with them that has been heating up in the last 24 hours. So it's important I repost this tweet down from last year. Long story short, my family and I have been stressing about this for over a year. My brother's grave defaced from psychopaths and people using old deleted family photos to attack not just me, but my family members. I've seen those pictures. It's nasty, right? A lot of people are trying to include his little sister in how he's being an incestuous pedophile because of his, vocal alignment to incestual lolly content in anime. Again, if you can't separate the fiction from reality and you want to harm a real person for it, like that, I think that is very redundant. It's very ridiculous. My old DeviantArt account got hacked and illegal material posted on it. That was the CP stuff. Thankfully, I got the account taken down with the DeviantArt staff responding quickly, and so much more that I've never talked about. I've been trying to get justice, and it's a slow process. I'm not made of money, and saving money to continue is fucking hard. I honestly didn't realize how expensive the lawsuit would get. While battling all of this, I had many medical issues last year too that I talked about in the post below. If you're an American and you got medical issues, you're pretty much fucked, right? So fuck you to all those that side with my doxers. Just gonna block on site and be done with it. And you know what? I don't blame Chibi for immediately blocking people that's gonna be riding, his hater's side, right? It doesn't feel nice. Why would you continuously have more monkeys coming in that's not going to do the due diligence and spread just misinformation if possible? But is it actually misinformation? That's what I want to find out. So this is the actual information, this is where all the details are at. So this is kind of like the summary. Let's see what some people are talking about. As for the campaign, I unpublished for more clarification. Here's what I posted and the reason for a while ago. Also, I explained more about what I was going to do with this in the post I retweeted above back in September 2025. Again, we're going to go through this, but let's look at this one. So the campaign is unpublished. Everyone that has donated, I thank you so much for helping me try and get justice against those that came after my family. My family truly appreciates you all and seriously thank you. Made an official statement on this a few months ago on options. My family and I are saving money to push forward on expenses. This doesn't really explain, obviously the detailed post will. This screenshot doesn't really give context in why someone would unpublish a campaign. Like, why would you unpublish a campaign of a lawsuit that you're trying to go through, right? Like, the only way that I could figure out at this point is, obviously there's the scam option, right? The bad faith assumption is he's scamming and he hoped that people would quietly forget. Or the other side is he is feeling pressured and uncomfortable with the amount of money that's been donated, right? Therefore, he doesn't want to take more donations from people and stopped it. You know what I mean? So those are the two options in my head intuitively. My guy, let me repeat it again. Start pushing your coupon code, like actively pushing it. You're leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing it on both Twitter and YouTube. Your larger audience will get a lot of sales, especially. Yeah, I think Chibi needs to understand, like, he needs to monetize his content better, in my opinion. Damn, that's crazy. So no comments about this? Again, the comments are here, right? I think a lot of people just don't want to acknowledge that it exists. Dude, he literally addressed this, are you blind, right? So again, just come on, bro. Time is ticking, Chibi. We are getting your hard drive. Everyone will see it. I mean, you're a Tectone meat writer. You kind of deserve everything, Lamau. Again, you start, making public your association with people online, and they're going to be nasty about it. So just for clarification, the money fundraised for the lawsuit wasn't refunded and isn't being pursued. Are you blocked now? I don't know. We didn't get an answer. We didn't get an answer about that. People asking about the lawsuit is not siding with the doxers. That's the only people you have been blocking. Well, it's more, definitely would say they're more pro with the doxers than pro with Chibi though, right? So there it is. Let's find out for ourselves what actually happened. TLDR. Posting this to remain transparent on everything to do with what's been going on. Breaking my silence on this after thinking about what's the best course of actions available. Summary of events. October 5th, 2024. I started to receive harassment from Boruto and Down fans for posting a manga panel and anime clip unaltered. What Boruto image was it? Because we all know the Down one, right? We all know the Down one where it was Momo about to get raped by a bunch of aliens and, yeah, obviously. Right? Where is the Boruto stuff? Where is the Boruto stuff for? Does anyone know? Is it the crying image of Boruto that a lot of people have been circulating? I don't know why people get mad about that. October 6th, 2024. The users involved in the harassment against me took it a step further and contacted a doxing group to ruin my life. So there's like a group that is like hired to dox? What? I don't know. This sounds like the dark web shit, right? Like fucking Hitman, except it's like doxers. Which, to be fair, my name is forever in the mud now. The harassment from the users escalated into eventual doxing of not just me, but of my family and my brother's gravesite. I think that Chibi has made a mistake for being on the internet for too long and too young. I think that because he has been on the internet, like he's been doing YouTube for a long time. He's an OG, right? And when you're young and impressionable, you don't understand shit like this can happen. And you may overshare personal information that people will use against you. That's why I'm so just adamant on never give people your full name, right? Hide your identity. Don't tell people information that can track back to you. What are you doing, right? Use a PO box, like do more stuff like that. October 6th and 7th, 2024. My decade-old DeviantArt account that I never used was hacked into by a doxing group. I posted well-documented photos of the situation, how someone that had access to the account would start to post CP, right, on the profile, which eventually got the account suspended on October 7th that I publicly posted about on that date. My other account is getting flooded with login requests, is causing me to get locked out of my account when I tried changing the passwords. 8th, I filed a police report on the situation about everything going on and tried to figure out what to contact. I contacted the Department of Homeland Security within my state and tried to get in touch with the FBI. This is crazy. What? Like, Boruto and Dandadan can't be this serious. Like, we are getting FBI interference for Twitter drama with Holy fucking shit. October 9th, I'm contacted by an agent from the FBI asking about my mail, and they're checking my incoming mail for any threats and contacting my local police department and remain on standby to guard my residence. Jesus. 10th, one of my sponsors emails me that my situation has gotten too out of hand and refuses to work with me anymore, causing me not just emotional damage from days prior, but financial damages. So he's losing sponsors, right? So basically all the doxing stuff, womp womp. It sucks. FBI agent Brian, damn, we got a name, bro. Agent Brian contacts me again to send him everything I have on what happened and all my evidence. I promptly sent everything I can. Brian says they will open an investigation and see what they can do on the matter. 12th to February 25th now. Whoa, that's a long period. I received a non-stop harassment daily, and either wishing for the death of me, to my family being contacted, and even some family members cutting contact with me entirely thanks to the situation. L family members? I mean, shit, like, what's the idea here? Like, if you like privately cut contacts with a family member because you're getting tied in because he's a YouTuber, do you think that's gonna somehow give immunity to you from the harassment? You know what I mean? This doesn't really make sense to me. Like, that seems very mean-spirited. If I don't want to dig too much into it and do some parasocial analysis, but this idea of cutting off a family member because of fucking Twitter schizo retards harassing you online, like, that's not gonna stop. I don't know. It's nasty. The harassment didn't just stop there. Many of them actively disrespected the grave of my brother. November 2024, the harassers doxers managed to find out my phone number, and so I was forced to change the number I've had for years to stop the harassment. February 6th, my Twitter account got suspended by the same harassment group mass reporting me. Thousands of people celebrated my suspension. I would say more than thousands. I think tens of thousands. I think that the amount of, negative engagement that goes for Chibi reviews is actually crazy online. Like, there's more. They compared him to Hitler or Epstein. Many accounts I thought were my friends turned on me around this time. X quickly fixed the mistake and reinstated my account. Friends? You don't have friends online. I genuinely believe this. Whenever I hear content creators saying friends, they are spineless yes men who only want to be around you to leech off of the clout and will go with the safe fucking opinion, right? Nah. Like, again, that's why I never get my shit into this, right? You're not a backstabber for being objectively, like, trying to approach the truth, right? A lot of people also use friendship as like a shield and a sword too, of like, I can't believe you'd call me out because of my bad actions. No. There's only colleagues, and it's all fucking business. In the entertainment business where everyone is clout driven, you're either useful to them or you're not. There is no authentic friendship. I refuse to believe that people can have authentic friendship off of sending fucking DM. You don't know each other. You don't actually, like, if you didn't even have platforms, would you still associate with yourself? You're just fucking colleagues with that's, on positive just means maybe. February 11th, 2025. After a lot of counsel from the other content creators, family and friends, I decided to open up a Give Send Go. So this is the crowdfunding one. Give Send Go account to fund a lawsuit against those that harm me and my family after all these months. The goal was to raise over $20,000 to start a lawsuit. So the lawsuit hasn't started? $20,000 to start it. Upon investigation, defamation cases can go around minimum of $15,000. I was told to keep quiet about anything related to the case I was building for I can have a successful lawsuit. Got it. The Give Send Go account reached 15K in donations on February 15, 2025 to fund the lawsuit. Now with the minimum from my understanding given, I was able to start looking around. On this same day, there were allegations spreading from my harassers that I abused my ex-girlfriend. Jesus Christ. Multiple articles were made about this and some are still up to this day. They paint me in a light as a very abusive person. The source of this abuse allegations comes from my ex herself and showed proof of what actually happened with my video. The ex seems to have been contacted by my harassers, doxers to slander me further. Man, this is the fucking Tectone Pikachu shit, right? Where, like, when you're in a relationship, it seems like they want to help each other out. They break up. Now they're here to drag you down. And this is very tricky. The incentives, right? You don't know. Sometimes people say I consent, and then later on, because they have an incentive to hate on the person because of the fallout, they'll say, I got fucking raped. How many times does that happen? So with shit like this, who do you trust? Do you trust Chibi or do you trust the abuser who's incentivized to slander for all they got? It's tricky with the shit, right? It's he said, she said stuff. You don't know for a fact. February to April 2025. I actively start talking with multiple lawyers to take my case, presenting them with all the evidence I've gathered since everything began. Upon seeking out lawyers, I ran into massive hurdles I was completely unaware of. First off, lawyer consultation fee can be as low as for free or run up to $1,000 depending on the lawyer. He's getting hustled. I lost count of how many lawyers I went to, but for many of them in my area, they needed a consultation before they'd even accept my case. Paying the consultation doesn't instantly guarantee a law firm would even accept my case to begin with. Sounds like a very convenient way to, hustle money. So thousands of dollars was spent just going around finding the right lawyer, which ate into the 15K donation. So right there already, right? So Chibi is not giving an explicit number of the amount of lawyers involved, but he said multiple. Multiple is what, 2, 3? What about 15? If it's 15 lawyers he went to and it's all ate up, I'd honestly say he's fucking retarded for that, right? Come on now. That's a bit of retarded negligence that's hard for me to believe, but a significant chunk of the money so far, we're going to assume now, has been eaten by the lawyer stuff. Receipts would be nice, but again, we just have words here. This leads into where I started using my own money to pay for consultations to save what money I had from the donations to actually pay for a lawyer. I wish that Chibi would be more upfront about how much of the 15,000 was eaten up so that more people can have a better understanding of the numbers, right? Because when you don't come out with the receipts like that, people will use this as an absence of evidence as target against you. You know what I mean? It's hard to really believe this when you're not giving exact quantitative figures. I was embarrassed and ashamed to state that I was still struggling to find a lawyer to take my case, and the consultation fees were adding up. Accompanied by the legal advice of not talking about things I'd used for my case, I remained silent, which caused stress to build. Sure, I get that. But again, in this statement where you are already mentioning money, I think it's in your best interest to specifically state how much money is gone from the 15,000. Because this statement, you are already talking about money, so why not at least provide full context? Which is, I don't think, negative because you're already doing this shit. I think it'd be only positive. April 2025. I suddenly started experiencing a nonstop headache that would persist and never go away. My health took a turn and I went to the ER to figure out what's going on. I knew whatever it wouldn't be good, especially since I'm uninsured. Around this time, my harasser was still coming after me daily to ruin my life. Bro got headaches. April 26th. I go into the hospital and they run all tests to see what's going on. Apparently, I have a pinched nerve that is causing the... Yeah, that's what happens when you're in your fucking 30s and you're sedentary, Chibi. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. You need to get better care of your health, bro. You need to hit the gym. You need to eat better, right? You can't just be a fucking basement-dwelling otaku just reading manga and watching anime all fucking day. Your health is gonna go to shit. You sleep wrong in one position, your neck is gonna get and then you're gonna get a pinched nerve. That's what happens. Take better care of your health. Doctors do what they can to give me what they can recover. My fiance and dad had to step in to help me pay for hospital bills because of everything going on with me paying for consultation fees. I've never had pinched nerve leading to money for hospital fees, other than maybe they had an MRI scan. You know what I mean? They're not gonna give you a drug. They're gonna say, take a Tylenol and just fucking wait it out. That's literally all you can do for a pinched nerve. April to May 2025. I continue my search for lawyers and find out that I'll have to go to my state capital to find a lawyer that I'll need for my case. Defamation and cybersecurity cases are complex. Many lawyers in my area will not take cases like this because of the nature of them. So again, this context is building up this framework where, again, every consultation costs money. And all these lawyers don't want to deal with this case. So now you see the precedence of him going to all these lawyers, getting rejected, hustled out of money. Now he's paying out of pocket. He's getting health issues. I refuse to believe the pinched nerve could cost that much money. There's nothing you can do. Are you going to a chiropractor? Right? Again, if you have receipts that would show and quantify, I think a lot more people would give you the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of people will take this and say, you're being very ambiguous with the quantification of the numbers, therefore they're not going to trust it. But let's keep going with this. May 21st, 2025, one of my harassers gets visited by the FBI. What? Oh shit. Okay, Asian Brian, bro. That's a thumbnail. Asian Brian is in. One of the Brotards or okay, deserved. Get fucked. I get contacted by an agent that another person has been investigated into for illegal the CP content and deviant art. Judging by the responses, it seems like the individual was a minor that did it. Yep. And you know what? This is gonna be fucked up. But I'm gonna say it. I think the likelihood of this minor being black is very high. And that's why Hoodweeb is such a derogatory term that's being spread around to battle against these people. I'm just gonna say it. You're thinking it, I'm thinking it too. A lot of the Unga Bunga Battle Shonen enjoyers are young, impressionable kids, right? A lot of them also happen to be black. I love Battle Shonen. Black people love Battle Shonen. Mexican people love Battle Shonen. Everyone loves Battle Shonen. But on Twitter, specifically with the people that Chibi engages with, look at their profile. It's not that hard to fucking assume. That's why. And it's crazy. Chibi is literally getting his career fucked over a bunch of stupid children. And the whole notion of hoodweeb this, hoodweeb that, that's where it's coming from. If you want context of like why, you know, there's this push against hoodweebs, this is it. It's their fucking battle against just minors. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid, bro. May 2025. While still recovering from headaches and pain, I start doing, and by the way, this doesn't mean that all black people that consume Battle Shonen are schizos that's gonna engage in this behavior, right? I'm not saying that. But I'm just gonna call out the elephant in the room. Everyone's fucking thinking it. Why do you think there's constant pushback against the term hoodweeb in this fucking niche that they constantly fucking engage with? It's just stupid kids. It's genuinely stupid retard kids that grow up without a proper fucking role model or mentor figure, and then they engage in rage bait and basically try to just do this nasty shit. It's a story that is old as time itself. While recovering from that, we're talking about, again, just like paying out of pocket, right, for the hospital stuff. Headaches and pain, consultations again, more money from his, right? At this point, he needs to pay the hospital bills from April 2025. Bro, Chibi, I'm starting to realize, is either retarded or getting hustled here. Maybe both. I'm sorry, Chibi, but like, how the fuck are you paying hospital fees for a pinched nerve? I'm a filthy Canadian, so maybe I don't understand the full context. Maybe you go to the ER and they'll hustle you. They'll make you take these medical scanning shit and then they'll fucking just say $1,000 right up. Again, maybe that happens. But like a pinched nerve is something that you wake up because you're old and you didn't take care of your body and you slept in the wrong position, and in a couple of weeks it goes away. Yeah, he's uninsured, and I think that like if you're uninsured in America and you go through that, then how much of that money do they charge you? I don't know. Like a visit to the ER is $100,000 cheap. Okay, that's me being an ignorant Canadian then. Damn, that's fucked up. That's insane. Do you know what happens in Canada? You just die in the ER instead. America, basically, they'll get you the help. And then they'll say, all right, here's a couple thousand, good luck. In Canada, you're bleeding out in the ER saying, please, somebody help. And they're like, oh, we got a lineup. I'm sorry, you gotta wait. In America, well, I feel like in America, you have options if you're rich. I'm talking about like rich people, right? Even if you're rich in Canada, medical tourism exists for that reason, right? The specialist shit, it takes a long fucking time. In America, at least if you have money, you can kind of it's pay to win. So basically, pay to win in America fits for a lot of people that have money, but in Canada, you can't even pay to fucking win. All right. June, not even pay to win, it's pay to live. June to July 2025. I found a lawyer that did a consultation with me and offered to take my case. The lawyer told me I needed to pay a retainer fee to begin. What's a retainer fee? For the transparency's sake, the retainer fee for the lawyer wanted $5,000. He's getting hustled. That wasn't including the hourly rate from the lawyer. The lawyer told me I get billed on the monthly on top of that $5K. The bill could range depending on how much time they invested into the case, but on average, he said it would cost about $2,200 a month. Bam! So 5K up front, 2.2K every month now on top of that. And a case like this could take a while, averaging up to anywhere from 20K or more, depending on how long it takes. So the context here is he's already getting hustled by all these consultation fees, where it's like $1,000 up front. There's medical fees on top of that shit too. Now there's an additional 5K upfront for a retainer, and then monthly payments that is now going to extend from a new scratch from 0 to 20K. Okay? We don't know exactly where the money for the 15K donation is at right now, but it's kind of eating up into that. He also stated the individuals I'll be subpoenaing for the information from X could take a while and might not even return results. However, they were confident from the evidence provided and I can succeed. I told the lawyer to let me think on it and I'll get back to him after to make sure it's the right lawyer for the job. Because out of the $15,000 I received and then spent almost $3,000 of it for consultations, and the other consultations were out of my own pocket to save for the lawyer fees, leaving me with around $12,000. Okay. So this last statement, let's read this for a second. He's giving numbers. Out of the $15,000 I received, I spent almost $3,000 for consultations, and other consultations were out of my own pockets. Hospital fees are, I guess, out of his own pockets too. Now there's $12K. Okay, he's giving me receipts. There it is. There it is. So, okay, you got $12K left. July 2025. I started having overwhelming pain in my... I remember it. He didn't make this shit up. No. I know this. Chibi gooned too hard and needs testicular surgery. I know. It's crazy. I know. 5 months ago, we were there and we wished him good luck, Chibi. He gooned too hard. That's crazy. All right. He had testicular torsion, all right? A large lump appeared in my groin region. Fearing the worst, I instantly thought it was cancer. I went very next day to the ER to figure out what's going on. And when I went in that morning, the ER, they looked me over and told me I would need to see an urologist or saying to anything. They gave me medicine for the pain, but sent me on my way with the $3,000 bills I need to pay at a later date. So right now, minus $3K. Balls. I then proceeded to work around for a urologist. While this was going on, I went to another hospital to a bigger city and gave me an ultrasound in my groin region to figure out what's going on. Ultrasound would be useful for my urologist to find one. The doctor came to the conclusion there was a swelling or a cyst in some kind. I left the hospital with another bill that I have to pay soon. I told them I was in a massive pain, need a specialist, contacted a urologist in this area, didn't have time till August 31st. Finding that acceptable, especially if it turns out to be cancer. Exactly. That's the thing, right? Don't be fucking around with this. Like if it's early onset cancer, get it immediately, right? You got to figure that shit out right away. I called someone in my state that is a neurologist. They gave me in the same week. Doctor looked at my ultrasound and came to the conclusion it isn't cancer. It's twisted testicular appendix. The only way he could know for sure if he had the surgery. So I did what any person with the situation. Exactly. I do the surgery too. I did not want to die at the age of 30 for bullshit. This is genuinely some isekai startup. Reincarnated as whatever because I died with testicular torsion. That's fucking crazy, bro. August 8th. I undergo surgery and the doctors conclude it was a cyst and twisted testicular appendix that was causing everything. I was told blah, blah, blah. Had to pay $2,400 upfront for the surgery. So again, now we're minus 5.4K of this plus the $3,000 in this section, right? Right over there. Damn. Not including the additional fees after. X suddenly started paying me up towards $900 every few weeks, posting on social media. This came at a time I desperately needed to pay my previous hospital bills, the surgery bills. I've been recovering slowly where I can walk normally and drive normally. I still feel uncomfortable for sitting for long periods, but that's normal. And this also kind of like adds more context of why he's posting so much on Twitter, right? And I'm not saying like the types of posts that are just for fun and, you know, just spreading his love for anime content. I'm talking about the stuff that's more in the rage baiting stuff, right? And it's sad. It's this like weird loop where he's in this really desperate position and financially lacking. And now he engages in the negative engagement on Twitter that does bring him the numbers. But that in turn creates even more haters. You know what I mean? It's a very fucked up cycle that's happening. Now we're in September 2025. I have to offer to continue the lawsuit with the remaining 12K. But to be completely blunt, I will have 100% to save money out of my own pocket to continue because of the monthly lawyer costing way over $2,000. Because with the retainer fee being 5K, that'll make the rest of the money for the donations around 7K left. So again, we had the 12K that he hasn't touched, minus 5K obviously for the retainer fees. Hospital fees are out of his own pocket. We got 7,000 left of the overall GoFundMe. With the monthly cost, it'll run out in 4 months, give or take. Because again, 22.2K every month, right? I feel like it's definitely an option that will eventually make me find justice, but it'll bleed me dry over time. So I'll ask you, what do I do here? Well, the backseating hindsight is you should have never done this in the beginning. It's easy for me to victim blame and say, Chibi, you fucked up, right? He did fuck up though. he flew too close to the sun and rage baited too hard, and you have schizos that hate you with every fucking fiber of their being created for like over a decade. They have everything to ruin you, and now they want to do it, right? But it's easy to backseat somebody and say you shouldn't have done it. So what's the reaction right now? What to do? Refund the money and stop pursuing and get over and move on? Does he have to have vindication done to make sure that the people get, you know, the justice that they deserve? Does the justice even matter right now? Is it worth the money? You know what I mean? Because it sounds like he doesn't have the money to proceed with this. And he wants to, I think that personally, I think pursuing this shit is too much. Yeah, we already had the FBI agent being, you know, visiting the fucking stupid kid from Twitter, right? Like, if this is gonna create like this, oh, you're bending the knee, you took the L, therefore more people are gonna harass you because they know you're all talk. I think that's bullshit. I think Chibi has shown that like he will proceed and stand on business and something will happen. But like, is the lawsuit worth it? That's a personal decision. For me, I'd say, nah. I would just ignore the fucking haters and stop doing the actions that creates me the haters and just make content and forget about it and move on. But like, this is gonna get nasty. I can continue this and spend more money out of my own pocket beyond the donation funds to seek justice or figure out another way. This also doesn't, though, explain why he stopped the crowdfunding. Have you guys figured out by now? Like, where in this post does it explain why he stopped with the crowdfunding stuff? Why did he unpublish it? Because that's the biggest contention. Why did he silently unpublish it when he is in a position of needing money? He didn't explicitly state it here. I think the assumption here is the guilt that like he's afraid that nothing will happen from the lawsuit and therefore he doesn't want to take on more money from other people. But he should have stated that. He hasn't stated that just yet. That's why I think a lot of people are very like hostile towards this. The reason I haven't talked about this more is because I was told to remain silent on legal matters. But I feel like the lack of transparency is a bad thing for those that donated. I understand that talking about everything can damage the case, and I don't want to do that. But I feel it's important to speak about this to everyone. I have the evidence. I have a lawyer that seems like everything can be done. But what do you think I should do? I know many will be upset with me having barely any progress made, but it's been a ridiculous year, not just with the harassment and doxing, but the health issues that arose for myself were outside my control. When it rains, it pours, man. So I leave it up to you to decide what my best options are. If you come to hate me, I understand, but felt it was more important to state this for everyone to see. Anyways, I love you all and seriously thank you for the support. Let's read some of the likes. Let's see some other tweets that may be against this, and I'll give you my final outcome. All this started because some freaks can't handle anime existing. It's a very obtuse way to place it like that, but yeah, at the end of the day, fiction is not reality. The only thing I can really do is, again, just monetize your content better, right? Fuck Boruto. Damn, dude, all this started because some Boruto downed on shit. Yeah. Well, it's not just because of that. I'd say that it's like the straw that finally breaks in the camel's back, right? This isn't new people finding Chibi for the first time and getting triggered off the down rage bait. This has been a decade in the making. This is what I'm saying. Every fucking time you get into these controversies by engaging in negative engagement as the forbidden fucking technique for engagements, right? You have consequences you have to deal with, and more schizos will be created, right? And that's what I keep telling Nicholas Light too, right? The more you do this shit, the more people will not take you seriously and jump the gun immediately and not give you the benefit of the doubt. That's why I always say, give people the benefit of the doubt. No matter who, in fact, the more controversial a person is, you have to give them even more benefit of the doubt because they just want to hate based on what the baggage is in the past. I mean, most of the damages you can make a lot with the money back if you settle, no? So I would say continue, especially if you have a winning case. The lawyer is confident, but it comes down to money now and time. That's why I consider open up again, just publish it again. Have more people support you. Ask Equal Mindset. Again, if Twitter is able to keep paying you well, yeah, keep doing that shit. Again, this is the down stuff, right? Yeah. I mean, listen, right? I get it. It's fucking weird. Obviously, Chibi knows what he's doing by stoking the controversy. This isn't the first time doing it. It's what gets the clicks. But to drag a person's life and to defame a person's like dead brother and shit like that, come on, bro. You're fighting a battle on 3 fronts. Yeah, there's stuff like that. Now, what I want to hear is not just the glaze, but like the counters. I ain't reading all that. Again, you're not even doing due diligence. Again, when people say hoodweeb, right? Basically, this is the pattern recognition that they have, right? Bunch of people will immediately spam the N-word and just shit on Chibi because of the drama in the past. That's pretty much it. Again, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever. All right. Okay, it's just people being racist and just saying all that shit. Now, again, this is the official statement. Everyone that has donated, I thank you so much, right? My family truly appreciates you. Made an official statement a few months ago on options. My family and I are saving money to push on. So I guess maybe I'm being retarded. Maybe I'm being stupid and I'm not getting the explicit implication. And the explicit implication here is that Chibi will proceed with the lawsuit on his own. He will pay out of his own pocket. But here's the thing. Why close it then? You need the money and you're telling me you don't have the money because he's ashamed. Because he's ashamed and he doesn't want to take more money on. But he didn't even he didn't even say about the shame regarding unpublishing. This is the thing that I don't understand. It's just like, why not make it more clear about like why you unpublished this? Maybe I'll reach out to Chibi on the DMs, right? I don't know. There's like some more stuff like this. What is this one? It's just more people just kind of saying like, okay, I'm not gonna believe him, raise his money, but like, oh my god, he scammed you. It's inconclusive. None of this shit is, conclusive. And it's like that for most of this shit. My personal, like, my one complaint, right? My most significant complaint is why he didn't make it explicit about why he unpublished it. Because the statement here doesn't explain why. It's not making it explicit. If the lawsuit takes time and he needs money, he would keep the shit open. He would ride the current wave of the harassment campaign. He knows how this shit works, right? He understands how engagement works. He's getting harassed again. Sure. In fact, why wouldn't you push even more, right? Basically, if you're going to double down, why not make it even clearer that, hey, I have a lawsuit case going on. This is what happens to people that try to defame me on Twitter like this. You want to fuck around? You'll find out. Here's a link to the GoFundMe. Please support me. Why not do that? Because suddenly he's ashamed? That's my only gripe with this. At the end of the day, he gave the numbers. There's no official receipts and, official, like, what do you want him to do? Like, actually print out, like, fucking his lawyers that he consulted and stuff like that? I think that people are jumping the gun and I would want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I know a lot of people will immediately hate on Chibi like that, but I think this is not as clear cut as a lot of people are jumping to. A lot of people, again, will simply associate the baggage tied with Chibi and assume the absolute worst of things, right? And I get it. He's going to block people like you, right? Absolutely, right? But I just wish that Chibi was more upfront about the explanation with this, because this is just kind of giving us a step-by-step play of the events that happened. The money is tracking, but the incentive is you're broke, you're not making money, you need the financial help, and you closed it because why? That doesn't really make sense other than the shame and the guilt. And maybe it's a very cuck thing to do, right? Maybe he doesn't want to admit the shame and the guilt of taking other people's money, but I still think that explicitly stating that would help this make sense to me way more. This is sad.